quick like emergency kind of a thing because unfortunately a guest that we were going to have in are sick, and so they had to cancel. So we had somebody who actually works with Clark Communications willingly come in. Not really. He's very, very humble. He's a very humble person, and he didn't want to talk about himself, and he thought he was uninteresting, had nothing to say. All false. Had such a lovely chat with this person. I've known him for years, did some work with him throughout the years, but got to know him on a whole new level, which is, what happens in a podcast. So, I'm not even going to tell you his name. You have to stay tuned. You have to listen to find out who this is. You won't be disappointed. It's a really cool talk. Hey, so wherever you listen to your podcasts, be it Apple Podcasts or Spotify, maybe go to YouTube to do it, or our website, northbayecho.ca. Leave us a comment if you want, a like, a share, leave us a review. We'd love that too. If you have kind of some ideas as to like what you'd like to hear on future podcasts, or maybe you have someone you want to put forward that we can have a chat with on To North Bay with Love. We'd love to hear from you. Before we get into the show, I'd like to thank our show sponsor, Source for Sports. Thank you so much for all your support.
Sports aren't just what we do, they're who we are. Source for Sports North Bay is your advocate, your local support system, and your biggest fan. 1321 Fisher Street has grown from a place where knowledgeable experts can help you find exactly the gear you need, to the hotbed of team uniforms, apparel and fanwear, to a community stronghold for all the things that truly matter to you and your family's sports journey. We love helping you find your first pair of skates, as much as we relish supporting local leagues, teams, and athletes. Wherever your sports journey takes you, make sure you visit Source for Sports North Bay at 1321 Fisher Street so we can help you along your way.
Gosh, I've known you a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
Like of you,
Yep.
but this is going to be great because now I can ask you many more questions.
Okay.
You can ask me a question too if you'd like. I remember doing a video with you. You were filming. And it was for something for Canador. This would have been, like 2004, 2005, 6. And it was like one of the first things I've done. And I just remember being so nervous. And I know my face, I could feel it being so flush and stuff. And I just remember you being like, so do you have a scarf or anything? And I was like, no, because I think I was just like blotchy and red because I was so nervous because it was just the first thing I'd ever done on camera. It was very funny.
No, was that a Clark Communications project?
I don't think so. No, because this was, when did you start here? Because before here, where were you?
Gosh, before here was Benjamin James.
Right.
There was other things, and it was originally Fidelity Advertising.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that what you took in school? Like,
Yeah.
how did you get into this? What were your interests?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I went to OCAD for about a year.
What is that?
Ontario College of Art and Design.
Excusez-moi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And anyway, it wasn't really working out for me or whatever. I wanted to play music and go on the road, so I did that instead.
Hey. Okay. So OCAD, is that visual arts or is
Yes.
it? So
Yeah,
did you
it
have
was
to?
totally visual
okay.
arts, yeah.
And so you had a portfolio.
Yeah.
I did not know that. So you draw, you paint. What do you?
Well, back then I just did a lot of drawing, like in high school, right?
Okay.
And it was quite a thing to get in there.
Yeah. Yeah. I was
like
going
there
to
was
say, you have to submit a portfolio and then they only take
5 people,
They take 5 people.
Yeah, well, 5 people, sitting, judging you or whatever,
right.
looking
I
at
see.
your stuff. And
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of color. It was just a lot of drawing. I was kind of scared of color, really.
Why?
So, I don't know. Because I think I felt I had really, nailed the drawing thing. I was just afraid to do it. And,
do you think the color, I don't know, maybe kind of took away, because a black and white image is so, as you know, doing film and stuff, it just gives such a different feeling and a different,
That's
was
true.
it just, you didn't trust yourself to kind of put the color where it should, or I
don't know the answer.
No, interesting.
But anyway, so that was a bit
Good
of
old
a
Freud on this. Okay.
That was a bit of a negative,
Oh.
But there was one woman that was, she said to the other people, she said, it's drawing is the foundation of visual arts, and he can do that. Mm-hmm. So I got in there, but
did
anyway.
you do? So was this a 4-year program?
It might have been 3 then. I'm just not certain, but
you decided.
I just felt that I wasn't. I was learning stuff that, not the stuff that I did in high school, but it just seemed. It was. Anyway, I just wanted to play some music.
You wanted to rock out, man.
Yeah, I wanted to rock out.
School of Rock. So your instrument is it guitar or bass? Guitar. Okay. Is it because it's available and it's not super expensive? It's not a grand piano that you need, or it's not a, I don't know. Like,
that's
why?
True.
What made you?
It was very accessible and available, like you say, and there was something about rock and roll, and when you're a young guy and it
had nothing to do with
press whatever, and
But it had nothing to do with being cool and playing a guitar, and maybe like girls would notice you.
Something like
maybe
that.
like this much, but the rest of it was just playing
if you're
the
quiet
chords.
and you play guitar, then there's.
That's true. Yeah. Because would you say you're a quiet person, is what I think.
I am.
Do you think you're an introvert?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think so too. But the other day I heard, I'm saying I think so too for me, but the other day I heard a term called ambivert. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me try and get this now. So like an introvert, you get fueled up by being by yourself, right? Quiet time, you're alone. Extroverts get really fueled up and get their life energy from being out with people, socializing. And an ambivert, which I think is what I am actually, is somebody who loves to have that kind of social interaction, but then needs to have the quiet time to recharge, to then go back out and really enjoy themselves in that. Which, do we have to, I don't know if we have to label it, could just be
but there's certainly
being a person.
People like that for sure.
Yeah, I think that's because I love, people always laugh when I say I'm a total introvert. And they're like, but you do theater, you sing, you're doing these shows, you MC stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I love that. But the second the show's done, I'm home. I'm at home. Like, I just want to be, at home, my little house, which I love. But
I think I like that's probably why I play guitar, because I don't have to speak.
Right.
But I can tell a story that way or whatever. And the visual arts for sure.
Yeah.
It's storytelling and it's communicating visually, and
So you left OCAD and you went and did you tour like with a band? Like were these your friends or who was this?
Yeah, the majority of them were friends. There was a one fellow from Ottawa, but we were called Hotline.
Hey now.
So it was a real sort of 80s hair band kind of thing.
Okay.
Like, maybe a bit of spandex and stuff like that.
Maybe.
But yeah, so we toured for about a year, and then it kind of fell apart. But
did you do covers, or like were you writing your own stuff?
we were writing our own stuff.
Oh, cool.
There was covers, but we were writing, yeah.
So then did you go, once that kind of you disbanded?
Yeah.
Did you go back to your visual arts at all?
I did. So yeah, I might have just whatever, but then eventually I said to my dad, I want to go back to art school,
Okay.
And I went to Sheridan College in Brampton. And
I went to Sheridan College.
Did you?
Yeah.
But not in
Sheridan
Brampton.
College. No, in Oakville. In Oakville for music theater. Okay, cool. I actually, I didn't know that Sheridan had a branch in.
I know. It was strange. We were with all these business people. And
Hello.
and there was this glass, the sort of cafeteria, and he could look down on us, and we're painting little flowers and stuff like that. And he thought, God. But I'll tell you, we worked like dogs.
Oh.
I've never worked so hard in my life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I think that's kind of like a Sheridan code.
Oh man.
Honestly.
Awesome school.
Yes. I mean, it's interesting because I taught at Canadore for a couple of semesters a few years ago. And I went and taught in the theater program there. I did improv there.
Yeah.
And just very different. Like very obviously, things have changed, very different classroom, very different needs of students, and very, but it was something that I struggled with because, I'm sure you had to send a portfolio to get into your program, and they only chose so many people, and there were people banging down the door.
Yep.
And the same thing for music theater. I mean, back in the day, certainly Ryerson was known for theater, and Humber, but Sheridan was big, in Canada. It was one of the leading kind of schools, and you had to go and audition. about 600 people auditioned a year, and they maybe took about 30 or 40. And so somebody was, ready to take your spot. So it was very cutthroat in terms of, teachers were like, if you're late 3 times, you're out. You fail a class, you're out.
Yeah.
We don't like you this week, you're out.
Yeah.
You didn't do your homework, you're out. Like they didn't, because they had all these people, So there was something really hard about that, but there was something really amazing about getting to the 3rd year, because I did graduate. I got through the 3 years, knowing that you were there because you showed up on time and you did the work, and you weren't wasting people's time, and you were putting in that effort, right? Like it was just, there was something really satisfying about that being
working
at the end.
hard.
Yeah.
And there was a handful of people that were really talented, right at the end, like very talented people.
Do you think you're talented?
I think I have my talents, but I think everybody has.
Because you didn't include yourself in that. Yeah, I just wonder, right?
Has talents, like
Yeah. But do you think you're critical of yourself though? Like, are you kind of a perfectionist?
Yes. Not as much with music.
Okay.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Because it is with art. It can be, tormenting.
Yeah.
You do something and you go look at it later, and you're just like, oh man, But music, it just seems like you're just sort of in the, in the zone, and if you make a mistake, it's just sort of whatever, And
yeah, there's that freedom there, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's like the whole, the jazz influence or something, right? Where it's just kind of, there's no.
Yeah, you're really in the moment, but you are as well with art for sure.
Yeah.
Like I could, there's times I could paint for like 10 hours straight and not even know.
Yeah.
I
was just going to ask you that because I took oil painting lessons when I was a kid for about 6-7 years, and then kind of gave it up, went on to different things, and then got into acrylics at home because obviously oil's a little harder to manage, but I haven't painted really. I did some painting, kind of in COVID days, and then I haven't painted, in years. And I think there is that perfectionist streak, which is so crippling. Because I don't start because it's so overwhelming. I have to, everything, if I'm going to do a landscape, and I just kind of stick to landscapes, or I love doing a lot of color, just really tons of different colors. But I just get too caught up in the end product.
Yeah.
Like, well, it has to look like this and it's got to look like that. And I don't think I have the right blue. Nope, can't do it. And I'll walk out. And then you come back and, I start, no, well, that's wrong. That's wrong. Yeah. And you walk out. And so it's a challenge to stick with it and not forget about the art of being perfect. There is no perfect.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, it's just to be in that moment. And I know that when I'm doing it, and the other thing I loved to do in my teenage years was cross stitch. And that was the first time that I figured out, or that I knew, or had the feeling of meditation.
Interesting. Yeah.
And I think I was 14 or 15, and I remember I was in the living room. I'm working on something for Christmas, my little cross stitch, and I'm just doing this. And I remember just having this moment of like looking up, because I could hear my parents walking around. Dinner was cooking. Mom was walking in and out. My brother said something to my dad, and he went downstairs. And so I was aware of people being around and things happening, but I wasn't, the thoughts were in and out.
Yep.
And I remember just kind of maybe the next day, or I don't know when that thought came to me, but I remember just kind of thinking back to that moment and feeling joy, or feeling there was something lovely about that. And painting does that for me too, because you're in it, like you said, for 10 hours.
Yeah.
And not know it. So like, do you experience that too?
Well,
like that?
Well, it just reminded me, like there's times I can look at a painting I did, 20 years ago, and I can remember, like I look at a certain spot and I can remember what I was listening to on CBC radio.
No.
You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah. Wow. So what is your medium? Like, do you have one that you love specifically?
It is watercolor, primarily.
No way.
Yeah,
Kevin.
Yeah.
Watercolor scares me, man.
Yeah.
Talk about commitment.
You commit for sure.
You commit.
And that's nothing you can do. But recently I did an oil, and I feel really good about it, and because it's such a beautiful. It's like butter. It just moves around.
I know, and the smell of them, and the mixing
smell.
them.
And I grew up, my father, of course, is an artist, Arlington Hoffman. And so my room was above his studio. So I grew up the smell of turpentine. And so it wasn't probably...
Well, you still have both ears, so I mean, you're okay. Okay, wait. So tell us about your dad a little bit. Like, was this...
Yeah, well, my dad was always, he painted like, it seemed like every night, you know. It wasn't his career. He worked, he ran the radiology department at the Civic then.
No way, okay.
Yeah. And, but he'd come home, he might have had a little nap, I don't know. And then he'd paint till like 3 a.m.
No way, wow.
So he loved it. So as a child, I'd go down, well, not, he'd do it on the weekends as well, but I'd go down and watch him, you know, watch him paint, look at art books, you know. It was awesome.
And you were welcomed into that space?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because, you know, some people say, you know, that their parent had this infatuation or this thing, this passion that they loved, and that kind of took them away from their child, right? So that's good to hear that, you know, that it was an inclusive thing.
Yeah. He never, like he never tried to really teach me anything, or he just let me do my thing, you know?
That's awesome too, right? Because there could be, it's a lot of pressure, right? It's like
I asked him a certain question, but yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
And did he do watercolor as well, or?
I'd say, well, when I was younger, he was doing oil.
Okay. Oh yeah, of course, because you could smell it. Yeah.
But now he paints a lot of watercolor. Yeah.
I wonder why the switch.
Well, it's just very convenient. It's you know, you could just have a little palette and a little thing of water, and that's all you need, and a paper towel.
Yeah.
You know,
I guess once you get to that comfort level in your own abilities, you could probably do that. Because I wouldn't never, because it's been so many years, picking up a watercolor would scare me. Is your dad still with us?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And how old is he?
Oh, geez, 85.
Dad?
Sorry, Dad.
That's okay, 85. And he's still painting?
Selling everything he does. Like he sells everything.
How does he have his own website, or how does he sell it?
No, just he gets some shows, word of mouth, he gets commissions. I mean, the guy's an awesome painter, you know.
I'm going to look up some of his stuff now.
Yeah.
It's Arlington? His name is Arlington?
Yeah, Arlie Hoffman, yeah.
How freaking cool of a name is that, Arlington?
A.J. Hoffman.
Like, come on, A.J. Hoffman. Hey, now. Shoot. Okay, and did you guys have a show together? Or have you ever had a show together?
It was a group show with several artists, but...
Okay, the old Tweedsmuir School.
Yeah. All in the hallways there. In the hallway.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I did. I went there once to see Richard Forte, actually, because we had to do some ADR for a show that I did. And so I went in there, and it's beautiful along the hallways there. There was all kinds of artwork. I can't remember if it was your dad's paintings but anyways, there was beautiful artwork up there.
They've done a wonderful job there.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a really neat building.
Nice vibe there, really. You know.
Yeah. So where do you paint now at home?
Paint at home. You know, I don't paint as much as I used to because I got into the filming thing.
Right.
And a bit of acting recently, too.
Oh.
This small little stuff. But
what did you do?
Well, like, I don't know, just like Hard Rock Medical and...
Yeah. Did you do SkyMed? Was SkyMed?
Yeah, I was in SkyMed.
Hey, now. There you
go. Carter...
That's awesome.
A couple little movies.
Isn't it cool?
They're small things, but
it's
so much fun.
But a great day. Just fun.
Great day.
And great day for sure. And
he treats you nice.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. I think it's such a cool thing that North Bay offers that as well, right?
Yeah.
Like we have so many things to offer here.
Yeah.
I mean, from mining to filming movies. I mean, you know, each end of the spectrum, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, well, I want to see, I would love to see some of your art.
Yes, for sure.
I would love it. Do you take commissions?
I do, maybe.
Kind of, yeah, depending on...
It depends.
Yeah. Because do you find that puts pressure on you?
It
more?
does.
Yeah.
Especially, there was a time where I was doing a lot of children, people's
like
children.
portraits. Yeah.
And I found that a lot of pressure.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, I would find that pressure too. Yeah, because how you see...
Yeah.
The child, like I was actually, I don't know, The Crown. Did you watch The Crown?
I did.
Those lovely episodes where it was the man, the artist. Mm-hmm. I don't know who the actor was who played the artist, but he was fantastic. Mm-hmm. And he came in, he was doing the picture of Churchill. Not Churchill. Roosevelt. Yes. I don't know why I just want to say Winston Churchill. And of course, John Lithgow plays Roosevelt fantastically. He was fantastic.
Totally.
And of course, I didn't know it was a true story, but that this picture was unveiled of Roosevelt, and he hated it. He hated it.
Yeah.
And so it was redone, and he burned. I don't know if he burned that one, but in the episodes, anyways, it's burnt. So interesting, right? Because when you're doing a commission or when you've been asked to do a portrait, how you see this person could be not at all how this person sees themselves.
And that did happen one time. I recall a friend of mine wanted me to do a portrait of his mom for Christmas, and we gave it to her, and I saw the look on her face, and she didn't like it.
No.
I thought I did an all right job.
Are you still friends with your friend?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's subjective, right?
Yeah.
I mean, art is that's the whole thing of it. I mean, it could be somebody's cup of tea, and otherwise, it's not. But yeah, that would add some pressure. But that's cool. We're gonna take a little break from talking with Mr. Kevin Hoffman. Because we need to thank one of our major sponsors, North Bay Toyota. It's time. It's time to Toyota with North Bay Toyota. Say that 5 times fast. I won't. I'll save you that. Listen, you can ask them about the lease deals on their 2025 Tundra Double Cab SR4 wheel drive, which sounds like a truck that Rip would drive in Yellowstone. That's all I'm going to say, okay? It sounds pretty hardcore, pretty awesome. If you're looking for this, that's a Tundra Double Cab SR4 wheel drive. You would experience ingenious levels of capability, technology, and refinement, which definitely sounds like you would with that title. Or, maybe you're an SUV lover. Maybe a truck is just a little too much for you. If you love the SUV models, take advantage of a limited shipment of 2025 RAV4s and discover the perfect blend of style, comfort, and efficiency in a compact SUV, which are nice because I feel like when the first SUVs came out, they were pretty big, but you can get some lovely Toyota SUVs that are, small enough to just kind of jet around town in, right? Because sometimes you don't need all of that trunk space, or maybe you don't have 5 kids trying to pile in there, but you still want something that's really good for our North Bay winters. Right. So you might not want to be driving a smart car in January. And the SUV, I know, like when I'm looking for my next car, I'm probably going to get a compact SUV, something like that, because you want really good winter tires, some big tires to get you through the winters. So if an SUV is your thing, definitely check it out. It's time to Toyota at North Bay Toyota at 640 McEwen or online at northbaytoyota.com for details.
North Bay Echo is proud to partner with Twigs Coffee Roasters, a part of the community since 1995. Twigs offers a wide selection of quality beans, fresh roasted in-house every day. Find your favorite specialty drinks at our espresso bar. Rejuvenate with freshly squeezed juice or treat yourself to mouth-watering selections from our gourmet deli. And don't forget our irresistible fresh baked goods, including uncompromising gluten-free options. Twigs has 5 locations to serve you from North Bay to Sturgeon Falls to Sudbury. Order online for pickup at twigs.ca. And coming soon, you'll be able to order fresh roasted coffee beans direct to your doorstep from our distribution center in North Bay.
Do you have a favorite thing to paint? Like, are you landscape? Are you abstract? What would you describe?
I'm going to say people, like in an environment, not like a portraiture, but you know what I mean?
Okay.
So I guess you'd call that figurative.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that is. I find people interesting, I think. And,
And do you have artists that really influenced your work, or?
Not really, I'd say. I mean, I like everything. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same with music. I like everything.
Yeah. Actually, I could say that about music. I don't know about art, though. I think my favorite thing or things that I would like in the house would be, like, I don't love super modern kind of very abstract things, very modern abstract.
You said you don't like that?
I don't. I'm not a fan. I love impressionists. I'm a big impressionist art.
It's fine. But, I'm sort of the same way, but I tried to do it. And it's hard.
Yes.
Like, it's totally hard.
True. I mean, yeah. I definitely respect it's funny, we're rehearsing a play right now. Myself and Kelly Martin and Al McCaskill, actually. We're going to be doing Lunenburg in February. And he mentions these two artists. And so I went and did research on the artists to know, and one of them was Joseph Albers. And he does that. I actually like them though. Like I was looking at his stuff and I'm like, okay, it's a square and a square and a square and a square. But his colors, I think it has to do with his colors that I like because they're very vibrant and very there's the, Mediterranean blue and like the magenta and like all these different, what is it? Burnt umber. Everybody loves the burnt umber. But, the colors really, his use of color and different colors together are really interesting. Like that's, I think, what made it interesting because they're really just shapes. And colors.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You have to have shapes, interesting shapes,
right,
that work with each other compositionally. Yeah. And again, like you said, colors that are not discordant.
Right. Yeah, complementative and yeah, because I mean, anybody, if you take a piece of paper, I mean, I could take some crayons and make a bunch of squares, but it does take that artist's view of kind of how to put things together so that all of a sudden it's interesting to the eye, right? Yeah.
And that's one thing I get now that I think too, that Sheridan College, they pushed me. I was very, very tight, very realistic and tight and rigid, static. And they taught me to loosen up and think about other things and look at things a different way, and maybe more surrealistic,
Yeah.
So I mean, I was an illustrator, which was awesome, and that's how I started at Fidelity Advertising as an illustrator.
And what would you illustrate for specifically?
Well, it could be anything. It could be a poster for Ontario Northland, or
Yeah.
Yeah. And then one day they put a computer on my desk, and.
Because, speaking of Sheridan, I mean, they have such a great program for Disney, right?
That's right. And I missed, animation. My last semester there, we had a little Mac, 3 Macs for everybody, and I think I got on it once.
Okay.
So I think if I would have been a little later, I think I would have got into that animation thing, and I think I probably would have been all right at it because I get it, And,
yeah.
Yeah.
Would you have been happy doing that?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And now, so switching gears a little bit, again, though, with artistry, you're also a filmmaker.
Yeah, I try. Yeah. I try. Make, short little films. And I find them very fun. It's fun. It's awesome.
And you do films, like you're doing them for companies, like you're doing it kind of as a business way, but then also, so like tell us about the ones that you've done yourself, because I don't know that I...
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of them were through Jim Clarko, of course.
Yep.
Who got me into it. So a lot of the scripts were his.
Okay.
But worked with some, wonderful guys, Ed Regan and Patrick Gilbert, you know. Excellent shooters, awesome. I don't know, it's storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you love? I mean, how would you say you are, when you're behind the camera and kind of trying to get a shot and stuff? Like, are you, again, talking about how you were kind of rigid in your illustrations. Is that something that you put a lot of pressure on yourself to kind of get these, we have to get this shot and it has to be like this and we got to get this? Or are you kind of now finding you're able to be a little more loose? And
I'd say more loose.
Yeah.
And enjoy it more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because why do it if you don't enjoy it?
No,
right?
That's right.
We forget that. I think we forget that along the way, especially if there's deadlines and there's budgets and there's, you know what I mean? All of a sudden it becomes a job and it doesn't become fun. But I think art, anytime you're storytelling or anytime you're doing art, it should be fun.
Being an editor is awesome too.
Yeah.
Because it's a whole different thing. It's like they say you write, a story 3 times. You have a script, the shooting, and the editing.
Right.
It totally changes, right?
Yeah. And
it's amazing how you can, if you hold on somebody for a few more seconds, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It means something different.
I mean, speaking about, we just did the 100th anniversary of the RCAF military show.
Yeah.
And we went over to Bill Parfitt's house, and you brought your camera, and we did 2 interviews.
Unfortunately.
Actually, I know we did tell that story. Oh, shoot. Yeah. But it actually was perfect. It worked out the second time. I think we got really even better stuff.
Yeah.
And, and I editing to me is just so foreign, and I think I love the process of it, and I love the liveness of it and being there. And so, away you go with your SD card.
Yeah.
And then when you sent us even just the one, just with the pictures and the video in it, and it had Shutterstock across it, we hadn't kind of confirmed what we wanted to buy for the video.
Yeah.
Wow. There was a story like that. To me, that's incredible. It's like a dressmaker. It's like people who can look at a pattern and know how to flip the material around to put the zipper with the thing. I'm like, how do you do that? It was incredible. It was a beautiful video.
Because of the subject matter, which I, really like or appreciate.
Yeah.
I mean, I ran home and started cutting that right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is that moment, like you said just then, if you stay on somebody for a few seconds, and it's like the last few seconds of that, when he says, oh, well, it's luck, really, isn't it, life? And then he just kind of looked off for a second.
Yeah.
And in that, 3 seconds,
said so much.
Said so much. You could just see everything just that he was remembering from those days, know? It's incredible. And such an intimate thing, too, film, eh?
Yeah.
As compared to theater. Do you do theater?
No, never. I never have. I really enjoy it, but never have.
Yeah. The equipment, was it hard to figure out, when you first got into editing? Or
No, not too bad.
Eh?
I mean, as long as the basic fundamentals you can tell the story.
Yeah.
You don't need to know a lot.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, unless you're getting to some sort of special effects or whatever. But I mean,
when's your band playing again next?
Oh, the Santa Fund. So
that's
other
cool.
than that, it might be the casino, and I don't remember the date.
Yeah. But does your band, do you play, are there places in town to play, or is there 1 or 2 places that you're playing now? Or
Lou Dogs, and the casino.
I didn't know the casino. Yeah, that's cool that they had live
in the
music.
restaurant
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Which is a great gig,
Yeah.
And a lot of private parties now, it seems. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, since COVID, a lot of places, Cecil's had the big stage, but now apparently that's all gone. It's all just restaurant now. And so it's, the Lou Dog seems to be the place there.
Yeah,
so,
we were a bit busy all summer. Well, one nice little gig we had was the Sunbeam Bungalows in Callender.
Okay.
On Wednesdays, he treats his guests to music, so we play on the beach.
Oh my gosh. That's kind of awesome.
And gorgeous.
Yeah.
Looking out at the lake, it's awesome.
Right over the sunset hour kind of a thing?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Hello. Yeah, we have the best sunsets here.
We always seem to hit good weather.
Yeah.
That's a nice gig.
That's cool. I love it. And you've been gigging with the same guys for a while, or?
Mark Tessie on drums, Barry Clout on bass, and we have another drummer, Jesse Wilson, who is my daughter's boyfriend.
Oh, no way. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And Mr. Clout, because I remember his daughter. Remember, she was in in some of the movies that we did. Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry.
Yeah. Good times. Wow. Oh, that was so long ago.
Yeah.
But fun.
But yeah, good bunch of guys.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Totally.
And do you guys get together to practice and stuff and jam, or do you just show up now because
we just kind of show up?
Yeah, your repertoire and you kind of
But it's interesting how I met Bernie Penny. That was back in the days of Fidelity Advertising.
Oh, no way. Okay.
He was a designer there.
Okay.
And we sort of became friends, and I was at his house one night, and he went to his upright piano and started playing all these Beatles, and I'm like, holy jeez, man, we gotta get a band together. So it was just like that.
That's how those things happen, though, I feel like. Yeah. Just by chance sometimes. And as long as you groove with the person and they can play, and here you go. That was really fun. It was completely unexpected. I did not expect to sit here and speak with Kevin Hoffman. I just learned so much about him, and I love that we had art in common, so we were kind of able to talk about that a little bit. But what a cool relationship between him and his dad. I thought that was so cool. And hello, Arlington, what kind of a freaking cool name is that? I love that name. I know that when I leave this studio, I'm definitely going to be looking up Arlington Hoffman paintings online, because I'm really curious now to see his work. And I also love that they, use galleries here in town to display their work. I just think that's really cool. It was really fun talking to Kevin. Hey, wherever you listen to your podcasts, if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or maybe Spotify, maybe YouTube, leave us a comment, leave us a like, give us a review. We'd love to hear from you. Also, head over to our website, northbayecho.ca. You can check out all the other podcasts that are available and sign up for our newsletter if you'd like. It's called Echo Essentials, and when you sign up, it'll be sent right to your inbox. You don't even have to worry about it, and you can get all the news that's happening in and around our fair city of North Bay. Until next time, much love, North Bay.